when you're an influencer, when you're a TikToker, when you're a YouTuber, most of the time, a lot of people in this field struggle with turning off their work mode. Oh my God, this person like quit their job and they just do content creation. Yeah, that person works. Hi guys, welcome back to another episode of Elevate. My name is Jessica.
My name is Darwin.
And here we are again.
What's up?
So the topic today is being an influencer or content creator really freedom?
Is it?
A lot of people see it as a way to be free, right? They want to become influencers or content creators to reach a level of freedom. But
That's the new wave.
yes, not everybody, because not everybody wants to be in that world, but a lot of the people who in past ways, in past years would have wanted to be in the entertainment field and, were sort of mixed in that world, now see being an influencer and a content creator as the new thing, is the new best thing to do.
Yeah, supposedly there's like this study that most children nowadays, when they're asked like, hey, what do you want to be when you grow up? They want to be YouTubers or mostly YouTubers.
But it's like back in the day, if you would ask someone who found that world, appealing to them, we would say we want to be on TV,
Hollywood.
But today in today's age, the TV is YouTube. So it makes sense, because when I was small, when I started to get interested in being in the entertainment world, I wanted to be on TV. So if I would have been asked that would have been my question. That would have been my answer. And so they're answering YouTubers because YouTube is TV.
Remember your aim? It was Miss Hollywood.
Yes.
Miss Hollywood.
Miss Hollywood. Yes, that's what I was called in high school.
I think a lot of people have being an influencer or a content creator, it's very underestimated.
Right. Like the job itself.
Yeah.
It's not really even viewed as a job by a lot of people. Yeah,
people don't see the work that goes into it. And they feel like it's easy. Like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna like post and
it's looking from the outside in, it looks super easy.
Yeah.
But in reality, it's a damn job like any other. And if you want to be really successful, you have to be very consistent. Yeah. And that's something that we've definitely, if you've been here, we've struggled with. And even though we enjoy this stuff because we have life outside of here, it's not easy to do this as an adult, especially. Maybe if you're younger and you don't have kids and responsibilities, it's a lot easier for you to stay consistent. But as an adult, to become an influencer or content creator is very challenging because you have a life outside of content creating.
Yeah. And not saying it can't be done because people do it. I mean, we even do it as much as we can now, but it's not as easy as it looks. And usually most people just see like the final product, even if it's like, let's say it's a family vlog and everything looks so happy. But
everybody just looks at the final product, the final result.
Yeah, but all the work that went into that.
Right. The planning, the coordination.
Or the cuts of the kids screaming.
Right, because people don't realize, people say, oh, it's fake, they want the real raw. And of course, you can give some rawness, but at the end of the day, it's entertainment. Yeah. So you have to keep whoever's watching entertained. And believe it or not, you're not going to be entertained if you watch the whole day of a person, without it being somewhat,
Yeah. A story.
Right. Behind it for you to want to even watch. And so, okay. The question is content creation and influencer really freedom? Because a lot of people get into it thinking that this is the way I'm going to become a millionaire.
Yeah.
This is the way I'm going to stop working my 9 to 5 and I'm just going to have a different life. I'm going to live that influencer life that you can see on YouTube, that you constantly see on YouTube. And let me tell you, a lot of it is entertainment, you guys. I'm sorry. A lot of it is true, but there's a lot of things that is just done purely for your entertainment. And so you can't just take everything you see and take it as real. Because at the end of the day, they're trying to make you click on that video.
Yeah.
And subscribe to their channel, and they're going to do everything in their power to have you do that. So just take everything with a grain of salt and don't take everything so literal, and just enjoy people's channels sometimes, I think is the best thing to do. But so a lot of people do it because they think that they're going to find freedom and they're not going to have to report to this job that they hate. And at the end of the day, it turns out that if you don't actually love creating and being an influencer and everything that comes with it, you're going to find yourself feeling the same way.
Probably worse, because this, honestly, content creation, or whatever you want to call it, influencer, is more than one job. It's more than you just like putting up a camera and stuff. Because when you think about it on the business side of it, because it has a business side of it, like if people who make money off of it, like they're a personal business, like they are the business. So it's like you got to work with brands, you got to work with emails, you got to manage yourself, you got to read contracts, like all that stuff comes into play. You got to keep, it's a daily thing of keeping on track with which platforms are trending, which platforms are paying the most money, how can I monetize this, where do I need to post this. So it's not
so
easy.
much,
Yeah.
right? If you actually want to be successful in this field, there's a lot that goes into it. I'm still learning. Kobe! He's licking my microphone. Okay, we're actually both learning a lot as we go, from other people that do this for a living. And yeah, at the beginning, maybe, when you become very successful at what you do, you can hire people to do a lot of these things. But at the beginning, you have to guayar la yuca, como dicen. You have to do this stuff yourself. And it's going to be hard. It's going to be hard. And anything that is worth having is not going to come easy. And this is definitely not one of those easy things. Also, just you have to really want to live this life. I think for us, so we've meditated on this idea for a very long time. And we started the channel, just by myself. But, my husband, he is into what I do from the very beginning, and in a lot of things. He's very creative himself. So he saw himself in this world as well, which is why we became a team doing these kinds of things. So we've meditated on this idea for years now, since at least 2015, 2016. And when we get discouraged, we always come back. Yeah. Because we say, no, like we would really like to live that life. We would really like to not have to go into a 9-to-5 and instead work for ourselves. Because being a YouTuber or a content creator is being an entrepreneur. Yeah. You have to be your own boss. You have to make sure that you're making ends meet. There's nobody going to be behind you telling you, hey, you need to do this, you need to do that. You need to be accountable for what you do in order to be successful. And we want that.
Yeah.
So, and we understand that it's not all going to be just fun and games, that we're going to have stressful moments, and that we're going to have to be able to handle that. It's part of the game.
And although like we've been was absent whatever from YouTube, we didn't never stop creating content. We just kind of shifted the platforms that we was using. But we also, whenever we enter a new platform, we always look at it in the business mentality as to like, okay, we're going to start this platform, but what is the end goal? Like, how can we monetize this page? Like all of our pages.
Why are we here?
All of our pages, Instagram, anything, like they're all monetized. We make money from all of them because the goal is always like, okay, this is a business and we need to go into this.
We don't make enough money, but we making some. Yeah, which is the goal. We're still grinding and trying to get, where we want to be. But back to the question, is it really freedom? Like how people picture it. So it's freedom for me. It's freedom in a way, in the sense that if you want to be an entrepreneur, if you have that entrepreneurial spirit and you want to be your own boss and you don't want to have somebody on you all the time, you want to have control of your time, it is, because you get to choose what you do. Now, it doesn't mean that you don't have to work. You have to work more. As much or more.
I mean, if we had a regular job right now and that's all we was doing, we wouldn't be working right now. This is what we're working. It's what, 11 o'clock at night on a Saturday?
Well, yeah, but if we didn't have regular jobs, we would still have to work every day. I mean, we would have to schedule our time, but it's not like, it's not all fun and games is what I'm trying to say. Yeah. You have to really be consistent and put in the work for it to work. And so it's not like I'm just going to be an influencer and life is going to be great and I'm just going to be traveling and, who cares about my channel and who cares about this? No, you're going to constantly have to be trying to get brand deals, because these platforms don't pay enough sometimes. The only platform that could pay you enough for you to be able to live somewhat is YouTube. But TikTok, they don't pay enough for a person to just live off of TikTok. People make money on TikTok because of the following they have, brands want to work with them. But how do you get brands to work with you? Sometimes if you're big enough, brands could reach out to you. But most of the time, when you're, not a huge, platform.
Micro influencer.
Right. You're going to have to be reaching out to brands and trying to get contracts with brands. And this is how people make their money. So it's a constant hustle for these content creators.
You get a lot of no's too. A lot of people just think like, oh, I'm gonna write to this brand like, hey, I can do this creative stuff, and the brand is gonna be like, okay, here's a check. Like, hell no.
No.
They have their marketing budgets. They know exactly who they're trying to target. So you gotta bring in sales into it. Like, you gotta sell yourself to this brand, like saying like, hey, what can I offer to your brand that that you can use, that way you can pay me. And sometimes you do free works just to get your portfolio built up. But it's a hustle.
It definitely is. And you have to wake up every day with the mindset of, what am I going to do today to be recognized by some of these people? If not, then you have to be working on your own brand and thinking about a strategy of how you're going to attract people to buy whatever it is that you have to offer. And there's many ways of getting money in the influential world, but you have to have a plan if you're going to live off of it.
Yeah. And, a lot of people do it for different reasons. There's people that do it for clout, let's say, and don't take it in a business way. Mm-hmm. And ultimately, them people fail at the end because they just wanted the fame and didn't treat it as a business. And when things get bad, it's over. Because that's the thing about influence. I feel like everybody has like a golden time frame. Like, you're hot for this amount of time. Like, make your money, make wise investments,
right,
and do what you got to do with that money. Because once you're off, there's people coming up every single day.
Yeah, it's very competitive.
So if you don't take advantage of when you're hot and do the right things, then you're gonna be screwed.
Yeah, I think it's very important actually when you start that career, that if you do get to a spot where you're getting some money in, you better take that money and start investing it in places outside of those platforms, so that if something goes left, as an influencer or a content creator, that you have something to fall back on, and you don't have to end up, imagine going back to like a traditional like 9 to 5 after being independent on your own. That would really, really suck. And so I think it's very important to be very smart about how you invest your money going forward, the money that you actually start to get. But back to the topic, is it freedom? It might be freedom in that you can choose what you do as an influencer or content creator. And even there, you have some setbacks, because let's say you're a content creator and you don't sell anything, you solely market for brands. If you're looking at it from the standpoint of being free as to you can do whatever you want and say whatever you want, let me stop you right there, because it's not that kind of freedom. If you're a content creator and you're trying to get brands to work with you, you got to be very careful with what you speak about on social media, because some of these brands are not going to want to work with you if you have a terrible image on social media.
And another thing that I think could help people is like growing your following. I feel like being yourself is the biggest and greatest thing you could do. Because if you start social media trying to be someone else, or acting like someone else, down the line, you're gonna get to a point where you don't want to portray this fake person. And now
you're gonna get tired.
When you try to transition to being yourself, it's gonna feel awkward because you already grew a following with this person. Or if you start meeting people, they're gonna be like, "Wait a minute, but this is not really you." Like,
which happens a lot. You know, people have like characters for social media just for entertainment purposes.
But it kind of fades out if you just build your personal brand, like us, for example. Like everything we post on all social medias. Like some skits we do is just a skit, but like how we talk, how we dance, like everything we do is just us, period, on or off the camera.
I think it depends on the person, though. Some people don't mind that. They don't mind having a character, you know, for the socials. It's like acting for them. It depends, I guess, on the field you're in and what your end goal is. Oh, yeah. Because if you're like an actress, you know, it story. Doesn't matter, you know, it's like a normal thing. But if you are the type of person who gets exhausted from trying to put this face on when the camera is on, and then when the camera's off, you're totally different. It is exhausting to have to walk around the world, you know, trying to being this fake person when the people that follow you see you in the street. So, I don't know how we got to that topic, but
another thing is
I feel topic. Like we jump a lot sometimes, but yeah,
it's all on the same
range of
same topic, but just different areas. Is also not freedom in a sense because of how often you gotta kind of keep up to date with, like, people are getting insanely good now at content creating. Like,
what way?
In like the quality and type of things they put out.
Yeah.
Because if you think about it, let's say back when Instagram first started, it used to just be like, oh, you have a really nice photo and you just like blow up. Now it's like you could post a nice photo on Instagram and people just gonna be like, okay, whatever.
Yeah. I mean, people have learned a lot throughout these years of how to make videos and edit.
Exactly. So if you're thinking of coming into content creation, like come with the mindset like, okay, I'm going to need to learn all this shit and get on it.
If you want to be competitive, absolutely. Yes, you have a lot of catching up to do.
Yeah, it's not just something that you could just be like, okay, I'm going to do this and just lay back and.
Yeah, no. It's not the kind of thing where, you know, it looks so happy-go-lucky online. Like, oh my God, this person like quit their job and they just do content creation. Yeah, that person works. Okay? They work on their own terms, which is the amazing thing about it for me. But they work. And a lot of people don't see it as a job. And it is a job.
Stressful one too.
It's a job that you are fully responsible for from beginning to end. Because when you go to a 9 to 5, you clock in at 9. You're there at your desk trying to kill time sometimes, doing your work, whatever you're told to do. 5 o'clock comes, you clock out, and it's peace. You're not thinking about your job unless you're like a manager or something and you're that kind of person who your job is your identity. But that I digress. That's a different topic. But 5 o'clock comes, you clock out, and you don't think about work anymore. You're at home, you're with your kids, you know, that's out the door. You are working, your working brain is from 9 to 5. When you're an influencer, when you're a TikToker, when you're a YouTuber, most of the time, a lot of people in this field struggle with turning off their work mode because work mode for them is creating videos. And so every moment of the day, we're thinking, what's the next video that we can create? You know, it's unhealthy in a way, you know? And so you have to learn how to keep a balance because you are responsible for your job from A to Z. And so you need to learn even how to have a balance with your family so that you don't go insane.
Yeah, I definitely struggle with that because my brain is always, I mean, I know yours is, but you already know how my brain is.
Yeah.
Like it's just always 24/7 is just on. So I actually had to start setting timers on like my social media apps. I don't know if you have an iPhone, you can set like a limit. Like after 9, like I turn off everything. YouTube is the only one that I allow because I can manage what I click and what I watch. Mm-hmm. And I don't really watch anything, you know,
That stresses you out or like makes you want to work.
Yeah. So, but like if I'm scrolling, even though I'm consuming content, I'm also like, I'm consuming because I want to know what I'm going to create. Mm-hmm. So
you're trying to get ideas.
Exactly. So then I get off my phone and my brain is just like, okay, do this and then do this. And we should do this. And then, but how about we do this and do this? And baby, let's do this. And like this audio, I can't forget this audio. I got to say, it's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's not that free as some of you may think, you know, it's hard. It's rewarding for those of us who actually enjoy to content create. I enjoy like watching. Once we create the content, I enjoy watching our own content. Like I enjoy seeing like what we created. Like when we do TikTok, sometimes like I'll go for like months and we're creating and I've never seen like one of the videos, and I'll sit one day and I'll just scroll down all my videos like, oh my God, like remember when we did this? Like I like that. I like that documentation of like, even for our own reference of our life. It's interesting for us to do and to witness for ourselves. But yeah, you have to love this kind of stuff in order to stay consistent, in order to even get a shot and be ready, because it's on out here. It is on and popping out here. There's competition everywhere, especially nowadays.
Yeah, and mentally too, you got to be prepared that you can spend a week, 2 weeks working on a video, and you're like, oh my God, it's gonna be amazing when you upload it, and you upload it, and that shit is just like it flatlined. And you're like, shit, but what do you mean? Like everything.
And don't get hurt because that algorithm don't care.
It could be the most trending thing in the world. You could do it the best thing ever. If it just happens.
Yeah.
And those are the times that you got to be like, okay.
We're used to that now.
Yeah.
Like before we used to be like, my God, like we spent so much time doing this video, editing this video, Babe especially. And then, you know, he would upload it and it's like something else that we did that we didn't put so much effort in got tons of love. And then he put so much effort into this one video, he uploads it and it's like, nobody cares. And it's like you never know what it is that the algorithm wants, what it is that people want to watch, what are they interested, what catches their eye. It's a learning process. Yeah.
And that's why I feel like consistency just works, because
you end up getting to know your audience and what they enjoy about you, and you start to get to know even yourself. Mm-hmm. You know, like, okay, I work better on like this. And you start to learn how to schedule yourself, how to just learn how you are. Like, are you a procrastinator? Like, you just know yourself. You know, you get to know, no, I shouldn't do that because it's not going to happen if I don't do it right now. And it's just a learning process.
I feel like us, we tend to leave shit for last minute. We make it happen, though, but we're the ultimate procrastinators.
Yeah. And I feel it's because we have like so many, like you said, like we have so many ideas and so many things we want to do. But then on top of that, we're parents and we have our jobs that we're like the whole week, oh, no, we're going to do this and this and this and this and this. And there's so much to do that we end up leaving everything for last minute because we're overwhelmed with the list. And so we've realized this.
Yeah, and we're fully aware.
And I feel like we've made some progress in understanding, okay, like not being so harsh on ourselves and just doing what we can do at the moment and not overanalyzing and trying for everything to be perfect, because that's another thing. We're a little perfectionist, and we both are that way. And it just gets in the way of just getting things done. And so it's a learning process. We're getting there.
One thing I've mentioned him before, that Christian Guzman, he says that he does now is, what he's been doing for a while is he has three, when he starts his day, he has 3 things on a list. Okay. Like, I have to do these 3 things. Like, he can have 100 different things to do, but these are the top 3 priorities. And he focuses on those 3, and that's how he manages his day. He says all the little shit.
So why aren't we doing this too?
We are.
We are? I don't have a list.
Well, mentally we have a list for our weekends. Like, we know we got to record TikToks. We definitely have to record a podcast. and we have to edit. Those are our 3 things.
Oh yeah, you're right. You're right. We just didn't write it down. Yeah. You're absolutely right.
So we batch record.
I think it is better though to write it down sometimes because it's clear. And you waste less time like trying to think, what is it that I have to do? You know, it's clear. I think I'm going to start doing that, honestly. Because, yeah, you need it. And there's some days where it's like, you know, I'm a mom. And it's like, some days I just turn off. I've been doing that a lot lately. Like, I won't go into Instagram as often. If I do, and if you guys see me post, it's because I'm going into post. Like, literally. Because you can waste so much time. Real money. Absolutely. Honestly, I'm going to be real honest with you guys. I was very close to deleting my Instagram app because I was full of, I just was full of them. I couldn't take them anymore. And
Instagram was like, we'll pay you to post.
And then, you know, like I get some money from my reels. And I was like, you know what? No, I can't just leave free money on the table. Like, not free money. I'm working for it when I'm doing these videos. But you know, it's something, you know, on Instagram, I do very simple, like, reels. So I was like, I can't just leave that money. We need every money that we could get. So I was like, you know what? I'm just going to refrain myself from going into Instagram so often and just scrolling endlessly for no reason. And I'm just going to post my reels here and there. I'm not going to stress too much about it. And I'm going to get the little money that I can get. And, hey, the rest of the day, I need to focus on being a mom, on being present, on being a wife, on spending time with my family and not be so worried, you know, with everything else. It's just so much that you have to take a hold of it sometimes. You have to really relax. I feel like a lot of us are in this, like, rat race all the time. And it's like, relax. And I feel so great when I, like, get away and I don't be, you know, endlessly scrolling for nothing. And I just be more present and I'm thinking about, okay, what am I going to cook? Or I start cooking something new, you know, a new recipe that I found on Instagram and I have my kids try it and they love it. And, you know, now I have a new thing I can cook, like, you know, during the week. I feel so much better when I do that. You know, you have to keep a balance.
I feel you because even me, when I started doing the timer that I told you, so I know, for example, I was aware that whenever I woke up in the morning, I would sit up, grab my phone, and the first thing I would do was go to Instagram. Okay. To see like likes or comments and all that.
Or what happened with your post that you did, yeah.
And even if I didn't post, like I would just go out and you just end up just scrolling out of nowhere. And I'm like that's not healthy. Like I'm opening my eyes, sitting up and going to Instagram. Yeah. Like how unhealthy is that? So what I did with the timer was like, okay, I know that by the time I'm going to work and I'm on the train, it's like 8:00. By that time, like it's fine. Like I'm on the train, like I can scroll. Like I already drove, I did what I had to do. So that's what I did. I put it for 8:00, and it has helped because I wake up and I'm like, I look at the app, but it's like shaded. So I'm like, okay, like you shouldn't be going there.
Yeah. And you know, I was listening to somebody one time and they were talking about how they were doing a transformation. I can't remember who it was that I was listening to, but they were doing a transformation with themselves and they started like meditating. They were going through a lot of things and they decided that it was time for them to make a life change because they didn't like the way their life was and they were very unhappy. And this person said the same thing, you know, I would wake up and I would open up Instagram instantly and I would just start scrolling and I spent so much time just scrolling, looking for what I don't know. Yeah. And then she goes, is it crazy that you wake up and you grab this phone? It's such an addiction. You grab it and you end this and you do this without even thinking about it. And you haven't even opened your eyes right. Sit up in your bed and thank God for a brand new day. Yeah. And that stuck with me like a lot. And so now like I find myself remembering this when I wake up. And so as soon as I wake up, like if I take my phone, I remember and I put it down. And first I say thank you to God for a brand new day. And I try to make a prayer or say thank you for whatever it is that I'm grateful for, because it's true. Like, it's true. God is first. Thank you, God, for a brand new day. Thank you for everything I have. Thank you for my home. Thank you for my family. I'm happy I woke up. Thank you.
Thanks. This is how crazy it is, right? I don't know. Have you scrolled long enough on TikTok that there's like an automatic like TikTok that comes up and says, "Hey, you should take a break." Hey, you should probably take a break now. You've been scrolling for a while. This is the social media telling you, get off my app. This is how long you've been scrolling. That the actual social media that's meant to suck you in, it's telling you to take a break.
That's crazy.
When I used to, like, it came across like maybe 2 or 3 times for me, like going to bed, and I'm like, holy shit. And I think that's like at an hour of scrolling through TikTok that it comes up. And I'm like,
is it all the time? I don't see it all the time.
Nah, you have to hit like a certain limit and then it comes up.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
Like without leaving the app.
I haven't been that bad, actually. With just scrolling like that, like, nah. I'm getting tired.
Well, now I don't do it, but before, like, it'll be random. Like, I'll find like a farming video on TikTok and like I'll start watching cows and
it's just, it's so interesting. Like the way the brain, tries to stay entertained. We have to be very careful with this stuff, because whether you want to accept it or not, this stays in your subconscious, all the stuff that you watch. And so that's another thing. I try to feed my brain something good. I'm not going to lie, like this is not always. Like, I have my moments where, I'm off social media, but I'm on Netflix and chill mode. Like, I want to watch documentaries. I want to watch documentaries. I want to watch something that's going to make me laugh. I want to watch Love at First Sight, Married at First Sight. Like, I want to watch those things. I have my moments where it's like I'm totally off of social media, but I'm watching, like, a series of something. And I find that actually healthier than scrolling on social media, because it's for self-care, in my opinion. Like, for my it's like a mental health break for me. And, I get to disconnect. It's like watching a movie. I get to disconnect from everything, stresses and everything, and just watch this thing that's entertaining and just, I enjoy. Yeah. For me, it's like self-care. But back to the main topic,
that coincides with everything. Like, is it really freedom? Like, is social media, content creation, is it freedom? No. Like, you're sucked in 24/7.
Yeah.
If you're not creating, you're consuming to then create.
Absolutely. And my goal, the reason why social media and being a content creator calls us, is because we don't want to wait till we're like much older to have somewhat say and control over our time. But that being said, it doesn't mean that because we become content creators or influencers that we will have all of our time and we won't have to work a day in our life again, because that's unrealistic. That's very unrealistic. However, I do see content creation and being influencer the way to help me become financially free, financially wealthy, for when I am older. I don't have to depend on no job giving me something that I need, and maybe if we work hard enough now that we're young, this is how I see it, as we get older, we will have more money to be able to invest in things that will give us our time back. And so at the end of the day, for us, this is just a vehicle that could help us get more money in a better way for us, because we don't enjoy our 9 to 5s. Right. Without cap. Exactly. We have more control over how much money we could potentially make, because it's more in our control than if we work for somebody. It's more on their control. Yeah. And so this is just a vehicle for us to be able to make money in a way that is more controllable by us. And so eventually the goal is to be able to be wealthy enough to have our time. For me, that is the goal. I don't see myself being a content creator forever, because to me, that's not realistic, and I don't think that's something I want to do forever.
This podcast is lit though.
Why?
Because we could just sit and talk.
Yeah.
Imagine being like, I don't consider the podcast
being like older and like giving like wise advice. Like,
yeah.
My children, please. It's true.
But I don't consider this like the ultimate it is definitely content creation, but it's just different.
It's speaking our minds, our true minds. We're not promoting
We're just
anything.
like having conversations, like, and even if we bring somebody on, it's like, what's up? Let's chat.
Right. What's on your mind? Let's get to know each other. Yeah. And there's levels to content creation. There's content creators who they just need to market. They're marketers, and they get paid to market certain things. And there's levels to this, a lot of levels to this.
And by the way, if you have a business or have a product that you're selling or anything and you want us to promote it on your show, you could shoot us
our show?
Yeah, on the podcast. You can shoot us an email.
Absolutely.
Or DM us on Instagram.
Absolutely. I have a couple people that we want to bring on. We haven't been bringing people on because it's summertime. A lot of people are out and about. They're on vacation. And so, but we will be bringing some other people on because we do want to have some people over this podcast. So yeah, content creators, influencers aren't really free in our opinion. You can't even express yourself the way you want to sometimes because brands might not want to work with you. You sometimes can't express yourself the way you want if you're, let's say, a YouTuber because some people might stop following you and they're going to cancel you, which is some real BS because that cancel culture is just toxic, but I digress. And yeah, it's not total freedom, but it is a different vehicle for you to get your means of living and for you to live a different life.
It's to stimulate your brain.
Yeah.
If you enjoy it, I think it's a wonderful thing to pursue.
It is. It is, but it comes with its challenges, like everything in life.
Yeah, just don't come into it thinking like it's all easy and yeah, you're going to post and you're going to go viral, which you can.
You can go viral. Anybody can go viral.
Some people go viral.
Anybody can go viral. Hey, anybody can go viral. The trick is, can you stay viral? Because anybody can go viral. Any video of anything.
Any random ass video.
Can go viral. But the real success in influencers and content creators is when you are able to go viral and keep that audience. Yeah. Now, can you go viral and keep the audience? If you can do that, you're the GOAT. You're definitely the GOAT. But, that's the tough part. It's attracting a group of people and keeping them watching. That's where it gets tough.
Yeah. And one tip I will give is if you're starting, be careful what trends you want to upload that are going viral, because if you go viral on a trend that you didn't really enjoy making and you grab a big audience doing that trend, the chances are when you start posting your normal content, they're going to leave or just not engage with you because
it doesn't align with you.
Yeah, they didn't come to see that. They came to see what you went viral for.
Yeah. Very true. Very true. Because sometimes, we tend to hop on trends that they don't really go with the people that we are because it's something that's just trending. But in reality, do you want that crowd? That crowd doesn't even go with your personality. Yeah. So it's not a deal because some people might stay, but a lot of them might not because they started following you for something you're not. Yeah. So it just doesn't work out. At the end of the day, it is way better if you just are yourself and you start to attract the people that are like you, because that's the goal, to keep
build that community.
To build a community. When you build a community,
it's powerful.
Yeah, you can do so much because that community will have your back for everything and anything you decide to do. So it's better to have a small community of people who appreciate what you do and like what you do than to have a huge community that doesn't really align with what you bring to the table. Yeah. So I think we've spoken enough, right? I think this was a good topic.
It was. All over the place. But
yeah. So many random thoughts. Anyways, that's it for today's podcast. You guys, thank you so much for listening. For those of you watching on YouTube, thank you so much for watching. Leave us your comments down below. Do you think being a content creator or an influencer is freedom? What are your thoughts? And that's it for today's podcast. Thank you so much for listening or watching. Until next time.
Peace.
Oh, one more thing. Don't forget to subscribe if you're still here and you aren't subscribed already. Don't forget to hit the bell so you can be notified every time we post a video. And hit that like button if you enjoyed the video. Thank you so much. Until next time. Peace.